People were sort of willing to accept them just sort of opening and closing their mouth, and that would be enough to convince you that the puppet was talking. And people are so much more sophisticated than that now. They want the lips to actually form the words.
I'm only operating three things, which is his jaw, his top lip, his bottom lip, and we have to plug in other bits to get his nostrils going. So even though Paul might be screaming, "I'm hated in here," the character will be going, "I'm having a wonderful time. Help me, help me."
When you're actually under the lights, under the pressure, the heat that comes off these lights is, you know, it's amazing. And if the air conditioning has to be turned off because of sound, and all your senses are cut off, you can't really hear. And you're breathing warm air as well. So I think it takes a special kind of performer to be able to embrace this kind of work.
Kind of scarring, but it's like perfectly symmetrical little ridges that just came right, if I dare.
Yeah,
wreck your...
Go for it.
But it would go, you know, there'd be one there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's probably...
That are being made now are in animatronics.
The plan has gone as you had promised, my lord.
The technology of the prosthetics has changed quite a lot.
On the Phantom Menace, what they had was guys off camera listening to me speaking the lines inside the head with a microphone and an earpiece, and then they would try and remote control the facial expressions, which were very basic. And now they've actually changed the motoring, so they've got even more facial expressions.
The plan has gone as you had promised, my lord.
Whoa.
We have, my lord.
Hands off.
The second time round, they actually computerized the movement of the mouth, and then I pre-recorded it, and the mouth moved depending on what I'd already kind of recorded.
The ship is breaking up!
So the lip syncing was already done for us. Now they've even refined all of the kind of mechanics of moving the facial expressions. When you're doing something like I am, which is basically I'm not a faced actor, I'm within prosthetics, you translate a lot of the personality of the character with your body.
The plan has gone as you had promised, my lord.
So Newt is this kind of very slimy sort of character who is hunched and disappearing inside of himself. And Kiadi has a kind of grace about him, and his body's much stiller and he's much more elegant. And that's the way in which I try to portray my idea of the character through all of this, you know, mechanical, rubbery stuff that's on the outside.
Have you shut down your droid armies?
We have, my lord.
Basically, I come from kind of inside the character. So for a while, I thought of things like the wisdom of a gorilla. There's this darkness around my eyes. My eyes are black. Even though they might be huge animals that could, you know, crush you to death, there's wonderful tenderness and accumulated wisdom. And I was looking at that and I thought, well, there's an element of that there in the eyes. And then there's this aging here, that reminds me of an old man. And all this complicated information sort of zaps through your brain and through the synapses. But then there comes a point in time when you go, whoosh, goodbye, and it all goes, and then you just let it sit, and those elements just come spontaneously. So with the makeup artist's help and with George's help, I found myself sort of putting together this character. What's it like without the bottom teeth?
It looks okay, actually. Do you want to try it without the bottoms? Let's take them out. There we go.
I like that top lip. And it's a completely different expression.
It is. Yeah. I think it's better without.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah. This is crunch time. This is the last week of filming. Almost everything that we've done seems to be on this week, but it's pretty exciting, and I'm actually very sorry to see this film go now because it has been so much fun.
It's amazing how ugly they can make these things these days.
Didn't flinch.
That was
Didn't flinch.
Let's hope that makes it onto the DVD.
It's a Cinderella moment. It fits.
guess she'll marry the prince.
Right, does that feel painful anyway? More painful than more. Try and do this, this might not work. It might dig in as well. Okay, close. Now, if you have any matches, if you do exaggerated dialogue, does it work?
Exaggerated dialogue.
Oh, yes. It kind of moves. Yeah.
Some people pay huge amounts of money to have a woman put them in this kind of thing.
Yeah, not me, so.
And then tell them what to do.
Okay, try again. Big man.
Exaggerated dialogue.
That's the way you want it to be, really. To see the way the technology has evolved, and yet keeping one foot in the pre-digital world.
It couldn't be more exciting. It's still surreal.
We are here on day 1 of Star Wars Episode 7.
You're here.
How incredible is that?
I can die now.
All right.
I think we've worn the suit out probably quicker than we expected because every time he meets someone, they just want to hug him.
Getting back to the old days, the old ways of doing things.
JJ's trying to make sure these movies have a physicality to them. We truly are out in a desert, a real desert.
Star Wars. I burned for Star Wars.
And I'm just going to bring this character to life.
You don't get to build an X-Wing every day or a Millennium Falcon. Every day I come to work smiling.
Energy and action!
You have to pause, take a breath, slow down, and really not freak out.
I was in the same room as all these legends and with all these new people who I'm sure will go on to be legends themselves.
You know, it's being done with such love and such enthusiasm from everybody, and I think that you'll be able to feel that coming off the screen.
It means so much to so many people.
You just know what it's going to be like in the cinema.
Star Wars is an important part of everyone's history. It's a beautiful thing to actually be involved in it.